3 legs of the tripod.
Are we good?
And we're published.
Are we really?
Yep.
Cool. All right, man. Let's get this party started like I like to say, you know? Just wearing my devil's hat today. Tired. But here we go, man. Let's live stream it. Is it on? Let me see. Sometimes I don't believe you.
All right.
But, you know, we're live. Oh, shit. It's on here, dude. Let me put it up. Let me put this one on mute. Cool. Streaming. Let the people trickle in. Let's get some chats going. I want some people to chat it up. But anyway, all right.
World War II had just ended. In Texarkana, Arkansas, boys had come home to their families. Husbands reunited with their wives. It was a happy, peaceful time. Until the Phantom Killer struck.
Oh, snap, G.
Not good.
Not good. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Nightmare 365 podcast, where myself, Matt, and my brother, G, we explore the unexplained, mysterious, and spookiness that lives among us, bro. Nobody believes us, but this is the center of weirdness for the entire planet. Today, we are talking about Case File 23, the Texarkana Moonlight Murders.
Phantom Killer.
The Phantom Killer. Now, you were saying before we started this that it kind of reminds you of The Strangers.
Yes.
Which we'll be talking about next week, man.
Yes, we will.
And if you ever saw, which I know you're not a big horror movie guy, a lot of people might be disappointed in that, but Friday the 13th, part Dos, 2, he wears the same exact thing.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of killers do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really create that much mask, but you can put a burlap sack over somebody's face and cut some eyes out, and you got yourself a killer.
That's the original Jason, if you really look at it, because if the first one was his mom, the killer. So that's really the first Jason mask, which we have in here.
Then how the hell do you get a hockey mask?
It reminds me. Well, how does any one of these guys just get a mask? He found it.
Like Halloween, Michael Myers. How do you get that mask?
They go into stores.
They don't find that shit.
They find it, man. They're walking around finding this shit. So that was pretty cool. I thought it was neat and everything, and that ways goes. But we're talking about the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. If not everybody's familiar with this, I'm certainly going to pull it up. But it was a term coined in the news media, referenced the unsolved murders that were committed in or around Texarkana in the spring of 1946 by an unidentified serial killer. Now, what classifies a serial killer?
More than 3 killings, I think, and like the same MO.
Yeah, because this was 5 killings, 3 severely wounded, 5 total people were killed by the same MO. I don't know why I just thought about that right now, but with the serial killers.
I mean, his MO was what he snuck up on couples.
Yeah.
In remote areas.
Yeah, so if you went to any known as the Lover's Lane or, the makeout spots, things like that, 1946.
Which that sucks, man, for everybody trying to get some back then.
And just somebody comes up and is spying on you and just lurking in the woods.
Like, hey, man, spy on me all you want. Just don't kill me. I don't care.
Yeah, that's a little creepy. And it dates back, between the weekend. So it's right around the time period that we're actually doing this podcast, from February 22nd, 1946 till May 3rd of 1946.
Probably got snubbed, didn't have a Valentine.
Probably. And he got a little upset and pissed and came out and just started killing people.
Just started hacking up people.
Weird ways. Which was interesting, too, because I played a clip in the beginning of the 1976 movie.
Yeah,
from their trailer.
I like the 2014 one better.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, 70s movies, there's not too much, I thought it was
production
a good movie,
value. There's not much production value.
You're used to these movies that have all this special effects now.
Michael Bay films.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And in the 70s, they didn't really have that. So, getting back to the case of this, it is, there was movies based on this, or, put around the Town That Dreaded Sundown. The one came out, like we were talking about, in 1976. The other one, it wasn't even a remake. I guess it was more of a sequel, or picks up off the storyline in 2014. I haven't seen that one in a while. I did rewatch the original one, though. So that was cool. And a lot of the newspaper reports were dubbed, this person as a Phantom Killer, the Phantom Slayer. And people were pretty freaked out about this during this time period. People were just coming back from World War II. And which, here's another thing that I always find fascinating. We're going to talk, next week, and we have a case file coming out as well. But next week on the show, we're talking about the strangers and the real life events that took place around there.
Yep.
Why do movies, and this is what I hated about this too, even this movie, the Town That Dreaded Sundown, talked about in the opening scene or whatever, the open movie when the narrator's talking, like, this whole movie's based on true events and everything that you see it really happened, but only the names have changed. Which, if you look at the case,
Yeah.
that's not true.
Well, it's like they want you to believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't get that. So,
Like Jaws was based off of something real.
no, yeah, right here in Jersey.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I never understood why movies do that, where they say, "Oh, it's based on true events and real happenings."
I
And
mean,
things
Blair
like that.
Witch was true.
Yeah, I mean
True
they
story.
they all say that, but then it's you start reading the backstories and they just blow out of the water. So this one is pretty. Obviously, it's a true crime. It's unsolved, and we're gonna go over into our theories on this. I think we started this show a little long on this one, but first, I just want to jump into some weird news first, bro. Jump that loud. So, dude, weird news, real quick. I just been reading this all over the internet, and I know you saw a couple things. I'm gonna try to link the best ones that I find on there.
Yep.
Before we really jump into this case file today. There's been strange lights reported all over the place. A lot of the YouTube channels that I subscribe to and I follow talked about just some of the, like down in South America, there's been weird lights happening. People talk about, I don't know, just different gases, the way like the planet is going. And some people, believe it's aliens.
Yeah, I watched one video. It was pretty crazy. It looked like almost when you do like the fireworks and the ones that go up like sparkle and like fizzle like corkscrew.
Yeah.
It almost looked like that.
It was weird, and there's been tons of these things, and people have been reporting, sharing videos. Like I said, there's just a lot of videos that I found. Not too many news stories have picked this up, I guess, in the mainstream media, but a lot of the YouTube channels have done it. So I'll link a couple of the YouTube things as for the weird news, but that's really all I found this week. There hasn't been too much going on, I guess. Obviously, the whole thing, I always follow MUFON, things like that, but they're always posting people seeing weird UFOs, and there was also supposedly a crash landing in Antarctica. I don't know if you read that report.
Did not.
Some people followed up, and even Secure Team 10, who I followed, did a big thing on that as well. So we'll have to keep our eye open for some of these weird anomalies in the sky, whether they're lights moving around or just off in the horizon that almost look like the sun setting or light pollution. But yeah, I don't know. If you have any weird news for us, send it our way. All our contact information is at our website, but email us at matt@nightmare365.com. So,
Yo.
let's just jump back into this unsolved murder from 1946. So, you saw the movies.
Yep.
Did you enjoy it?
I was all right.
I know you said you liked the second one better. The second one had a cool premise behind it, like the girl coming back to the town and
Yeah.
the killer came back and you try to figure out who it is. But we're going to talk about the people that were obviously attacked and got away,
Sure.
and then some of the people that didn't make it, which this killer is,
Here you go.
yeah, just like any other thing. And while doing this, I thought to myself, I kind of feel bad in a way
Why?
because people did lose their lives over this.
Yep.
It's almost like if something happened to us and then somebody coming back and saying, oh, yeah, let's do a show on it.
That would be fucking awesome.
I guess.
Yo, Nightmare 360 guys just died.
They didn't make it.
Let's do a show about them. What happened? When their fans just went suicidal and just killed them.
Why do you think we're as a society, we're obsessed with some of this stuff?
We're obsessed with like a lot of things like fighting and death.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I think all adrenaline stuff. You look at like going back even to like the Roman times where they had gladiators fight to the death. Like people like seeing that. People like seeing gore. Like why do you think NASCAR is so big? People like seeing
the
crashes.
Yeah, people root for the crashes more than they do some of the drivers sometimes.
Yeah.
But
I think it's just human nature.
yeah, it just struck me when I started reading about this, obviously watching movies and really thinking about, all right, these are based on true events and people lost their lives, which kind of sucks. And
Yeah.
and sometimes, the killer is more famous than the actual victims. And obviously we're seeing a lot that's going around, in our society today, which is some of the mass shootings in schools and stuff. And my only thing on that is just, we have to be nicer to each other. I mean, just I don't know, find some type of hobby or find something that you really enjoy that you can focus your time and energy on instead of just like some hatred. And I mean, everybody has their issues, but my whole thing is just be nicer. At the end of the day, even with stuff like this, man, like if I was back then, I mean, you're scared to a point, but
What I would do?
you're also
Hide in the woods.
and wait for that.
Wait for the killer.
Well, that's what they kind of did in the end, which
Yeah.
we'll talk about. But
You hide and wait for that killer, and then you fucking jump out and you kill him.
dude, so yeah, on the
Pull the old switcheroo on that
the
fucking
first
guy.
attack. The first attack happened in February, the 22nd, with Jimmy Hollis. He was 25, and his girlfriend, Mary Laurie, I guess how you say it. She was 19. They were attacked while they were on Lover's Lane, and the attack happened a mile north of the actual roadway. There's tons of it that actually goes into it, and this is pretty crazy because the guy snuck up on him, came up to the driver's side window, knocked on the window with a flashlight.
Yeah.
So the guy
Thought it was a cop. Yep.
yeah, didn't even know what was going on, and he was quoted as supposedly saying, you got the wrong guy. This is, I'm sorry, this is not me. Whoever you're looking for, we're just hanging out. And he told them to get out of the car.
Yep.
And just obey what he said. He put a pistol in their face and said, if you do what I tell you, I won't kill you.
Yeah.
And then went on with his thing. He told the guy to take off his pants, and then he drilled the guy with something, with a blunt object. I don't know if it was the back of the pistol, with the flashlight,
Yeah.
or anything. The reports are a little sketchy here. And which was really crazy to me was the girl, Mary, said when he thought he got shot because of the sound and like how loud it was, but I guess it was like his skull cracking when the guy hit him.
Yeah.
So as the
probably
guy's
hollow
laying
sound.
here, yeah, and we have a lot of what happened from this because these two people that were attacked this night ended up surviving,
Mm-hmm.
and which is really crazy to me. Like if I got hit over the head, I don't think I would make it.
Yeah, it depends on where you got hit.
I guess,
And
but
how bad it was.
just the way she made it sound, if you read the reports, because they did interview her later on when she made some recoveries, and she said, she pulled out the wallet, from, I don't know if it was her, I guess because they do reference that as his girlfriend. So she pulled out his wallet and said, look, he doesn't really have any money. Please don't like hurt us. Don't rob us. We don't have anything.
Yeah.
And then supposedly through her testimony, she said he told her to run. She started running, and then he ran after her and was like, why are you running? And then
I would just get pissed and I would fight the guy. Like, fuck you, pal. You told me to run, I'll fucking fight you.
yeah, but she's 19 years old. This is obviously, a dude who's probably bigger than her.
I know, but like, wouldn't you get pissed though?
Yeah, at first, like most people don't. That's when I get back to my original point. Like, why are we obsessed with some of this stuff? Because in most times, you saw those videos where most people don't want confrontation, right?
Yeah.
Where if somebody came up to you and probably did some crazy stuff to you, you'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, get away from me.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. Like, I bet you if you, like, the kid got out of the car and, like, went up to the guy and tried to fight the guy, like, the guy would be like, his mind would have been screwed up. Like, wait.
Well, yeah, just from what Mary said with the reports where, she said he told her to run. She ran.
Mm-hmm.
Then he caught up to her and was like, why are you running? Don't lie to me. And then started kind of beating her up. And then supposedly he started biting her nipples, bit her, like her back and ass, and like sexually assaulted her in a way with the gun.
Yep.
But, like nothing else, like she wasn't sexually assaulted in any other way besides with the gun. Obviously, that it's fucked up in a situation, and she ended up getting away.
I mean,
I guess he got scared off supposedly by another car passing, or I guess he heard some other noise and got freaked out. But just from this one instant where it did like start from this, it seems like he was pretty sloppy.
Well, yeah, most serial killers are. You look at like any serial killers, like the first couple times they make mistakes, and that's how they're eventually caught. Like their first couple murders, they leave something behind or they do something stupid, and they refine their techniques over like a period of time over the killings. Like that's how it usually is.
Yeah, it's just weird that they didn't really find any more information, you know, from just like the post-attack, what she said. You know, when she was in the hospital, she did have minor cuts. She received some stitches for her head wounds and stuff.
Yep.
And, you know, the guy was hospitalized for several days with 3 skull fractures. I mean, so that's pretty crazy in itself. And you have to wonder. And then she gave a whole account, you know, which was really interesting. And I was reading up on this. She gave an account of the guy. She said he was about like 6 foot.
Yeah, 30 years old.
Yeah, he was a dark-skinned gentleman. She doesn't know if he was like a darker skin, like white guy, or just like a black guy in itself.
Sure.
Which it really doesn't. They don't run with that in a way. I don't know why. Do they not think she was credible? Do you think like she
again
didn't really
I think we went over like how many witnesses are credible and like how they misremember things. So maybe I don't know.
But they did interview her a couple times. Like, they brought these people back in a couple times and said, like, all right, can you give us any more potential information? And, I mean, I thought she gave, from reading the reports, really good information. But I don't know. And she ended up moving away. Not too far, but she ended up moving to Oklahoma. I guess they asked her to live with her aunt and uncle, and she didn't want to come back. The only time she came back was when they wanted to question her again.
Yeah, I wouldn't fucking come back. You kidding me?
Well, yeah, after an event like that.
Guarantee she's not banging anyone in cars anymore.
Oh, dude.
Just saying.
Yeah, if you had that experience, I mean, you'd be traumatized in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, look at people who are like sexually assaulted or raped or anything. Like, you're traumatized probably for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's fucked up that people are that messed up to kind of do this. Like, to just try to profile and get in this dude's head, whoever this was, because it's still not solved today.
Yeah, I mean, you can make any theories like you want about it. Like, you know, maybe he came back from World War II, was fucked up because of the war.
It's true.
You know, maybe was sexually abused as a kid. You never know. You know, or
it's true. He couldn't have got a date for Valentine's Day, and he was pissed off.
Valentine's Day Massacre.
He had mommy-daddy issues. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Great night.
Yeah, sure.
That should be a podcast.
I don't think people want to hear that.
I definitely want to hear that.
No way. But so we're going to our next victims. So the first two,
they weren't really
they were victims.
I mean, they were hurt.
They didn't die.
Yeah, the next two died.
The next two,
they fucking got
Richard Griffin and Polly Ann Moore.
They were only dating for 6 weeks. Imagine that, a month and a half. You're all excited about the new relationship, and then whack.
Yeah. Richard, he was 29. His girlfriend of 6 weeks. Polly Ann was 17. They were found dead in Griffin's Oldsmobile, and this was on March 24th, 1964. And they found him in the morning.
Yeah, by passing motorists found him. Yep.
This one was interesting too because it seemed like the bodies were moved, you know, killed outside the car, kind of like the first one, and moved him. Just the way he positioned the bodies back in the car, if you read about it, it was kind of weird. He positioned the guy in between the seats, facing backwards, like almost in like a fetal position. And then the girl was face down in the back seat. And obviously they didn't make it. I mean, no matter what. So this guy...
I mean, he was probably like...
He learned from the first one.
He learned from the first one, cleaned it up, and went from there.
Yeah, there's not really too much to say about this one because they were both found... you know, in the car dead. And the newspaper did read, what was it, the Texarkana newspaper. It's not around anymore. I can't find the name. Bummer. But the next day, the headline read, couple found shot to death in auto, which people could look that up. That was pretty crazy. So there was a whole big investigation. Obviously now the Texarkana police chief is involved. The Arkansas police are involved, and the Texas Rangers actually get called in. You know, just because of what's happening and what's going on, and people are really fearful in the town. And just like the movie, you know, the Town That Dreaded Sundown. You know, people were locking their doors. They never did before. People were, you know, buying shades to cover their windows. They didn't want anybody, you know, knowing where they are. They weren't going.
Is that like a fear of yours? Like, imagine like you're home at night and you look outside and somebody just pops up from like.
I do think about it time to time when my window's open.
That freaks me out sometimes.
When it's nice out, you know, when like
somebody just pops. Hey.
Yeah, it'd be weird.
What would you do? Would you like?
I mean, what can I do?
Would you grab a knife?
Well, I usually have my flashlight. I love flashlights, by the way. I would shine it, like blink it, like at least blind them. So if they're trying to like shoot me, they won't know where the hell I am. Even if they did shoot blindly, I could just like
shoot at the light.
Shoot at the light. Well, no, that's why you hold it up like really up here, or you duck down and hold the light and move it.
Like all right, so like let's go through this for a second.
What are we going through?
You're home alone.
I'm home alone.
Dark.
You want to talk about an incident where somebody was...
Yeah, we can talk about that after.
All right.
Dark.
Yeah.
Somebody pops up from your window. Like almost like, you know, whatever, trying to kill you with a mask on.
I can tell you a story.
I know, but I'm just saying pops up, right?
Yeah.
And then tries to get in the house. Well, what do you do?
All right, so you weren't here for this. When was this? This was senior year of high school.
Okay.
I don't know if you and mom and dad went away for the weekend.
To Maine.
You probably did. I don't know, but I was home alone.
Okay.
And this is a funny story. And most of the guys that are listening, we called it the killer night. And we rented Puppet Master. I forget the other movie we rented, but there was 4 of us here alone, you know, in the house. And all of a sudden we get strange phone calls. Like, you know, they're calling up and like,
all your phones?
No. Just like the house phone.
Okay.
This is before everyone really started having cell phones. I think I did have a cell phone, but it was one of those big clunky, you know, ones.
Sure.
It was, you know, not like the pocket size now. It was much bigger with a little antenna on it. And anyway, we get a phone call at the house, and it's just like this weird phone call. I'm like, all right, somebody's prank calling us. Whatever. It happens. You know, that's what you did as a kid back in the day.
Yep.
And yeah, I forget. It was I had 3 of my buddies over, and one of my buddy's girlfriend was here at the time. So she left, and we were just there by ourselves. Then we started receiving more phone calls, and I was just like, what the hell? It was like a weird witch voice.
It was
like,
her?
Well, no. Hold on. It gets crazier. So then, like, they call. It's probably like the 8th time, and I'm in the kitchen with our one buddy, and I pick up the phone. I'm like, if you're really here, like, what the heck? Because they kept saying, we're here, we're watching you, you know, and whoever it was could have been watching us because they were saying some weird stuff, like, you're watching, like, Puppet Master, and I was like, oh, crap.
Come on.
Yeah, so, like, I'm like, if you're really here, like, you know, bang on the front door, and then all of a sudden, you know, boom, 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 banging on the front door.
Yeah.
And, like, I froze for a quick minute because I was in the kitchen, so I wasn't by the front door, and one of our buddies, like, hit the deck.
Why?
Know? Well, somebody was calling, and
you didn't think it was the girlfriend who just left?
No, because the phone here. I'll finish the story. So after that, I did pick up like knives, and then I went out. Like I walked around like to the house and was looking out the windows to see if I could see anybody, but I didn't see anybody. Then we did go out at one point with the knives and looked, and
the knives.
We thought it was somebody else, so we went to their house and messed with their car.
That's fucked up.
Well, you know, just like other friends, we were just messing with them, and then we came back, and then the next day, like I was getting phone calls in the morning saying like, oh, you're going to work, you know, and I'm gonna follow you today and all this stuff. I was like, what the fuck? So then, whatever. I went to work, came back that night. Everybody came over again, and our buddy Chris was there, and the phone calls started happening again, and you know, he was with his girlfriend in the house with us, and
same girl from
yeah.
before? Okay.
And it was happening, and he was like, dude, I'm not staying here another night. Like, if this shit's going on, he's like, you better call the cops. And I'm like, oh man, you know, like, what do I do? Like, I don't want this to happen. Like, what if mom and dad come home and like something happened to the house? I was like freaking out. So I'm like, shit. He's like, dude, you can come sleep at my house. He's like, dude, you got to call the cops. So then I'm like, all right, it was just me, him, and their girlfriend at the time, and we're just in the house. So then finally I was like, F it, I'm calling the cops. So I called the cops, and the cops come. They're coming up the driveway, and I'm walking out to meet them. And as I'm walking out, my buddy's girlfriend starts walking next to me, and she's like, it was us. And I was like, what do you mean it was you? Like, what are you talking about? She was like, yeah, like when I heard the first phone call happen, she got the idea, and then it was her brother who banged on the door, and she was calling most of the time.
Yeah.
And she said when she was with us, when it happened again, it was her uncle that called.
Her uncle.
Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, the cop's in the driveway now. I'm just learning this fact as I'm walking down the driveway.
So what'd you
So
say?
I'm sitting there like, I'm really sorry that you came out. It was a misunderstanding, blah, blah. Like, somebody played a prank on us. They finally came clean. Like, I was really nervous at first. I'm really sorry. He was kind of nice about it, but a little dick about it. Because he's like, yo, who was it? And then, like, all that shit.
I'll just make this.
Yeah, well, I think I did say, like, because she was with me, and she, like, kind of came clean at that point.
It was me.
But, yeah, ever since that night, we call it the killer night. So, in a situation like that.
But, like, what if it was real, though?
I mean, it was freaky. Like, if you heard the voice on the phone, like, it was freaky. It sounded like a witch voice. And then it always puzzled me, even to this day, like, who was that first, phone call? Because she's like, that wasn't us. I just got the idea from that. So I was wondering, it was just one random phone call. But, yeah, even if it happened today, it would be a different story. Because I think I'd be better prepared than I was when I was 16, 17 years old, watching Puppet Master with my friends.
Get my gun.
Yeah. I mean, who knows nowadays? Maybe most people don't do that. I haven't
Well, most
heard.
people don't have a home phone anymore anyway.
No, that's true. But do a lot of people still go to like Lover's Lane or make out points and stuff like that?
Well, where's there one around here?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you would just
Top
go
of
to
Beacon Hill.
Yeah, that's a good spot. That overlooks and you can see the bay and the city,
Yeah.
New York City. But yeah, you don't hear any of those kind of stories anymore. I mean, this is from 1946.
Well, yeah. When was really the last big serial killer? Jack the Ripper?
No. I mean, if you want to
Son
call
of
it
Sam?
Well, what about that? We can talk about that case, the Beltway sniper.
Okay,
in
yeah, I
Washington D.C.
yeah,
where
okay,
the guy
yeah.
and his son were popping,
2004, 2003?
Yeah, where the guy and his son were popping off.
From the back of their car. Yeah, okay.
That's fucking crazy. Like, even just to think about that, man.
Why?
Like, just imagine hanging out the back of your car. Like, you're just driving along.
Well,
and
they didn't hang out the back. They cut the hole in the back of the trunk.
See, it's fucking crazy to me. Like, how crazy if you were like a father and son, like, oh, let's just go riding today. Sure, Pops. Yeah, grab the gun. All right.
Well,
What gun?
it's funny how they caught those guys.
I don't
They
remember.
were sleeping at a rest stop, and the Maryland State Police came up and checked on them, and then realized what the hell was going on. So
Yeah.
they caught him by sheer.
Well, yeah, that's what, like, getting back to this case, I don't know how, like, they didn't, catch this dude.
Well, if you think about it, like 1946, like the technology like to catch people wasn't that
All right, just
prevalent.
like the same thing, like the technology to catch these Beltway sniper guys that were just popping people off left and right in their cars. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about that, like, you're just driving along.
But that was like 14 years ago too. So
True, but the technology should be better than 1946. And
Yeah.
I mean, by happenstance, they didn't even run into this person.
No.
In the movie they did. In the movie, if that's what I hated about it, because they like came so close to getting the guy and they never did. But in real life, it doesn't seem like they came
were
close at
they
all.
were even close. Yeah.
I mean, they set up roadblocks, they set up curfews.
Well, that's why like one of the main suspects was a cop.
Which I want to talk about because I didn't dive too much into this guy, and there was a book written about it, the
Yeah.
Texarkana Moonlight Murders. I could pull that up. I forget the guy's name, and but this guy, Y'all Sweeney, he was arrested. The guy in the middle here, he was surrounded by the Texarkana, and so the guy supposedly that was it. If you look at the description, he doesn't look like he's a dark-skinned white person or a black person at all from the original description from the people that did get away.
No, but they all look like fucking creepos.
Yeah, and this was an interesting piece because the woman, or his wife at the time, kind of testified or gave a statement saying that he was it, but I guess they didn't really have much evidence to go on to convict this dude of being the actual killer. But he did get better, I guess, because he didn't get caught. I mean, it seemed like when we were saying before, he was pretty sloppy, right? And then now, all right, he finished the job in some sense, in a way. But if you were the killer, wouldn't you say, all right, these two people got away, like, I want to find them, because what if they could identify me? Or would you wait it out and they're like, all right, it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks now.
No, I would go back and kill him.
They haven't identified me.
Especially if you were from the town, I would go back and kill him.
Yeah, it's
but
weird.
She left, so it didn't. I don't know.
I would have followed. Like, he seems like a stalker, so why wouldn't he follow him? But
reminds me of like the movie Mr. Brooks with Kevin Costner. You ever see that one?
That was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
And to think if people are that smart and that devious and that sinister to do stuff like that, yeah. But that guy just killed for fun. Like,
yeah. How many people like go kill like unsolved killings?
I mean, there's plenty. You watch Dateline, you watch Unsolved Mysteries, which I've still been hooked on. I'm almost done with season 7. I'm trying to watch as many.
Just saying, like, you see that?
No, there is. And I mean, he seemed to target younger individuals. So is this an older person targeting younger individuals? Because the next people, Paul Martin and Betty Jo Booker.
13 and 15, yeah.
Yeah. Well, 15 and how old was he? I think he was
16.
16.
Sorry. Yeah, because he picked her up.
Yeah, because this was on a Saturday night, April 13th. So they're about 3 weeks apart, right? So there is the MO. He kind of does the same thing, killing these people. And this one was sad, too.
Because they were shot?
Well, not only because they were shot, but I watched the documentary.
Yeah.
Or like some clips of it. And he was talking about the guy, Paul Martin, who's older. They were in a band. And, the guys were in charge of taking the girls home. And it was like this guy's, I guess, turn. He took the girls home, but then Betty Jo, like, stayed with them. I forget the whole detail, and I could be butchering that, too. But, like, then they obviously went out and hung around. And in the movie, obviously, this is a famous scene with the saxophone. Well, it wasn't the saxophone. It was like the trombone or something they use in the movie to do the killing. But these people are just kind of shot to death. And
yeah, he was shot 4 times.
Yeah, and they have pictures of these two that were floating around on the internet, too. You could still see them, like they're on the woods. Same thing, a secluded area. And I think we forgot to mention all the killings were done by a .32 automatic, what was it, the Colt pistol?
Yeah, Colt pistol.
Yeah, so that was like the main weapon used by this killer with the MO. And these people were found in Spring Lake Park, which is still there. So people can go check that out. And obviously the investigation went forth and kept going. And there was a lot of rumors going around at this time, too. And, I thought that was kind of interesting, too, with the missing saxophone.
He took it?
Yeah, like, what did it was it?
He probably took it as a memento. Most serial killers do that with some things. Like,
yeah, but all right. So the guy, y'all, what was it, Sweeney, who is like the main guy? Sure. Wouldn't they try to look for that then? And that nothing was found. So
yeah, but he may have like stashed it somewhere.
You think he had like a tree house in the woods?
Yeah, man, you never know.
And played the saxophone at night, and just was like, oh, I'm gonna.
A lot of serial killers keep shit though.
See, I wonder that, like, if you went around, so say if you went around to like a park and you just watched people and you saw like this really just creepy dude, and you just followed him and you saw him like doing some weird shit.
Dude, that shit happens all the time.
I know it does, but I'm saying, like,
we were at the dog park the other day, or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Hey, which one's your dog? Oh no, I don't have a dog. I just come here.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Just hanging out at the dog park without a dog?
Yep.
He must really like dogs. Older dude?
I think so.
Like, how old? Like, because if he's
40s.
All right, because I was thinking like 60s or older. Like,
well, you're just harmless.
Yeah, the old guy just wants to get out. But yeah, if you're in your 40s and doing that, it's just weird. I should try that. Like, go with like a ball cap, like cover my face and eyes like I'm doing now.
Go to the playground.
No, dude.
Which one is your kid? No, I don't have one.
Well, I used to feel really bad because to go work out at the one school that has like the gymnastic stuff around outside, and I would always try to time it when school was out or stuff like that.
Right.
But they took that down. I wonder if too many people, because there was a lot of people going there, so I wonder if they took it down. They're like, you know what?
That's why
it was brand new too. It was really nice.
That's why I like Chuck E. Cheese, right? They give like the guardian a stamp color, and they give the kid the same stamp color, and they check you on the way out.
How do you know this? You don't have kids.
Kim babysits.
I was about to say, you
And
going to
like,
Chuck E.
she
Cheese?
goes there, yeah.
Going to Chuck E. Cheese, huh?
So I'd be like, hey, come on, let's go. I got some candy in my van.
Dude, yeah, it's just fucked up, like, just to see. All right, I guess the last victims
Yep.
were Virgil and Kate Stark. This one was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they
'Cause-
were both older, too.
Yeah, so it doesn't, and this is where it starts to not fit the MO if you look into this, because
So it may be a copycat killer, too.
right, that's what I was thinking when I first heard the story, because they were in their home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they were out on a lover's lane or in a park or anything. They were in her home, and I guess the guy Virgil, who was 37, and he was in his home, and it's a ranch style house.
Yeah,
He
his
was-
wife, Kate.
So yeah, the wife Kate was in the other room, and he was sitting in a chair, just hanging out. I don't know, whatever. And he was shot through the window twice.
Yeah.
So you have no shot there, man.
I think, like, he probably knew these people.
You think he like
You
really knew
you
these?
have to.
Yeah, it sucks, man. And then when she kind of figured out what the hell was going on,
Yeah.
originally I heard reports that she tried to run upstairs, but then, saw the guy come like to the back door, and she just wanted to make a beeline to the front door, and he ended up shooting her, I think in the face,
Yep.
like the mouth, like she was missing some teeth, the jawline, wherever he hit, it wasn't a direct hit. And she ran away, to the neighbor's house, which the neighbors weren't home. And then she had to run to like another neighbor's house. She ended up surviving. Obviously,
Yeah.
her husband did not. But yeah, like getting back to the point, those are the people. So those are the 5 murderers, the 3 people that did get away, the first 2 victims that ended up
and her,
surviving.
yeah.
I don't know how. Like those 2 people survived. Like it seemed like the guy was
Maybe he wasn't like
wasn't
didn't
ready
have-
to kill
Yeah,
yet.
he wasn't ready to kill yet. He just wanted a taste of it.
And see, that's weird. That's fucking, really sadistic. Like just
Dude, I hope somebody tries to, break into my house. I'll fucking kill them.
Yeah, but all right. So say if you're this dude, right?
Go.
What if you're this dude? You're Virgil,
Well,
just
you got
hanging
no.
out,
Yeah, then you're fucked.
and you have no chance.
You're fucked.
You're just sitting on the couch. You're like, oh yeah, I'm just hanging out. Saturday night, pop, pop. You're done. You don't need him. You didn't even have a chance.
I don't. Well, depending on where I get shot, I'll fucking get up, pal.
I mean, then you have to figure out like, all right, where the hell did the shots come?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the last was a copycat killer, just because of the simple fact that it wasn't the same MO as the original 3 killings,
Right.
or the 3 attempted killings, or whatever you want to say. So
Yeah, it's weird because it didn't seem like they were.
that's why I say, like, I think he must have knew the people, because why would you go so out of your, I want to say, like, comfort feeling or comfort place of like killing people.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you have a point where they're in the park, and you have easy targets. It seems, because you could probably look at them like they're not in their house. You don't know whose house you're going to. Like you said, you made the point. Maybe he didn't know these people.
Yeah, you had to.
So, could you also think about the theory that maybe he knew these people and the other people were kind of a distraction leading up to this, or do you think
Nah, I don't think so. Like, what, a Jack Reacher like type deal?
Yeah, like, all right, I'm going to throw these people off. I'm going to just start popping off people in the park. And then, like, my main victims are going to be these people. So they're going to be looking for an MO.
Unless, like, he just wanted to warm up to killing, kill the other people, just to see if he could. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
And because I was trying to read, because was it the same type of weapon for this last victims, for Virgil and Kate Starks?
It didn't. No, it was a 22, right?
Yeah, I was trying to find that, and that's what it. There is reference to that one being the 22 caliber, so it is different. So I don't know, like, because that's what we say. You know, isn't it the like a copycat? We don't know, and it amazes me that they had the Texas Rangers here. They had the Arkansas and the Texas side because this is like a border town that's on to the states, and you would think with all this money and the resources that they were putting into this effort to try to catch this person, that they could have done something, but it didn't seem like that was really the case.
Well, yeah. Then after that, it
just goes cold.
Yeah.
I heard one theory, which was funny, that
let's see. Oh, there's your flashlight.
oh yeah, dude, I love flashlights. But this was found at the last victim's house, which was kind of weird because it seemed he's getting sloppy now again. If it's the same person,
That's
right?
probably why it's not.
Yeah, because the first one was sloppy.
Yep.
He just didn't kill him, and then this one, he didn't kill both of them like he did the other previous 5.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, the other previous 4.
Yeah.
He did kill one here, and the woman did get away, and he left a flashlight behind. Which they didn't find anything from the flashlight. They didn't look around like,
I'm sure
"All
they
right,
felt.
where did this come from?"
I don't know. I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
So what? Who do you like? Who do you think it was?
I mean, the main suspect, which a lot of people think that it was that the guy, Y'all Sweeney. I mean, I don't know. See, and that's where it gets different. Like we talked about the MO, where the peoples were attacked in lonely private areas outside the city, the city limits, using a 32 caliber. And then the last victims, even though the caliber used for the Starks was a 22,
Sure.
So we did find that out. It was first believed that the majority, the lawmen, it was used by the Phantom. Those are the 2 guns. So
Sure. That's why it could be a cop. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
it does seem like there was like the copycat thing. I mean, getting to suspects, there was obviously no one apprehended in that first case.
yeah, no one apprehended, no one. And then the second case, there was over 200 people questioned, but no one arrested.
No. Yeah, a lot of false tips. Who knows? Like people getting paranoid at that point.
Yeah, same thing with the third one. Like, there was like one suspect that they did question, but they let go.
Yeah.
And then
the Starks family, several people were released, and yeah, the primary suspect. I mean, there was a couple people that that were, I guess, considered, but nothing really, marked out. They did have, like I said, the Y'all Sweeney or whatever, however you say that name.
yeah,
How am I saying
that's
that
who
name?
that's who I think it is.
Youell.
Y'all.
Yeah, I mean, he was the primary target. But then, like I said, you go back to the other people and you say, he had nothing. He wasn't like a dark-skinned person.
Yeah, but then again, like, I mean,
I know he said.
They could misidentify, but I don't know. It's very interesting, like serial killings. Like, I think
It is that these cases, they're unsolved.
I mean, you look at what's his name? New York killings. The serial killer.
Which one?
Son of Sam.
Oh, the Son of Sam. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's same kind of deal.
Boston Strangler.
Yeah.
Even that's a great mystery if you look into it, because the guy who said he was the Boston Strangler, there's a lot of evidence pointing in another direction.
Yeah.
Which it depends on what side of the fence or narrative you believe.
Same with Jack the Ripper, right?
That's an awesome case.
Jack the Ripper. I did that tour. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember you saying you did that tour. Did you really like it, or
yeah?
I
mean,
it was
you
okay?
went like to all like most of like the killing sites. That's like a case that's never been solved. Look at the Zodiac serial killer. That's never been solved too.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I was reading some theories and they believe that this was the first, like, I guess you would say, I don't know, prequel to the Zodiac, because
the Zodiac was in the 60s.
Yeah, right, 60s, 70s.
Yeah, 60s.
But they said like it could have been like this was the first like real attempts, and then as a person got older, they really dove in to be the Zodiac killers. Obviously different.
Sure.
Down south by Texas, Arkansas, and then the other ones in California. So it is weird, man. I don't know. And you can look at. I mean, I just tell people to look at some of the suspects, read into it, make your own theories, and just tell us. I would love to hear what you think, because there is a lot of these cold cases, the unsolved crimes. These are true crimes, and we don't know as much evidence as I feel like. It doesn't seem like they have a lot of evidence in this case. They know what kind of caliber it is and everything. Couldn't they do something with the bullets now? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, if you have the same gun, you can match it up to the gun, but then you need the gun. I mean, you can go back and trace the bullets where they're, manufactured, where they were bought, where they were sold. Then you can narrow it down. But I don't know, man. If I was a serial killer, or if I was wanted to be a killer,
Yeah.
I would.
You're gonna put this out there.
I would do it so smart. I'd be like a Mr. Brooks type.
I feel like everybody says that.
Nah, man.
Everybody says they're
I'll tell you
do
what.
it so smart.
Number one, you don't tell anybody, not a soul. Okay.
I think you would crack.
Nope. You can't tell.
You might come on the show and say, you know what?
Nope. You can't tell anybody. Number two, right? If you're gonna use a gun or whatever, a knife, you go to 5 states over to get it. However, don't bring your goddamn Easy Pass, because then they'll track you through the Easy Pass.
Well, don't bring anything. I would just ride my bike.
And don't ride a bike.
Why not?
Just no. I would take my car, but I would pay for cash. Everything in cash.
Yeah, but you're being tracked with your phone. We
Don't-
talked about that.
don't
man.
take-
We talked about that.
Don't take that. Borrow somebody's car.
No, we're
boom.
borrowing somebody's car.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Greg borrowed my car the other day, and I don't know what the hell happened.
Exactly.
You can't miss my truck.
No, man. See, you do shit like that, and then you can't kill around where you live. That's
Well,
where most people
how
make the
many-
mistake too,
How
because
many?
they kill where they're comfortable.
How many unsolved crimes or cold cases really are there? There has to be.
Millions,
You
probably.
think millions?
Oh yeah.
I wonder if Google will tell us
Unsolved murder
how
cases.
many unsolved murder cases.
There's millions, guarantee.
Just in the are we doing in the world, or are we doing the United States?
There you go. United
Unsolved
States.
cases in the United States.
Or you can even say percentage of murders go unsolved.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to look it up. It's not letting me click. Sons of
Go
guns.
to the next one down.
I don't know. It's not letting me click on any of these.
I don't know. I would say a lot.
They're listening in. Sorry, can't get that information for you right now.
Hold on, the internet's down. Oh, we're back up, and we're back.
The internet's been really screwed here today.
There has to be a lot of unsolved mysteries and unsolved murder cases.
I mean, just from the stuff that we know, you mentioned one, right? Like this one, Phantom Killer, the Zodiac Killer,
Yep.
the Jack the Ripper case.
Son of Sam, they got
The
him though.
Yeah.
They got him, the dog.
What about Boston Strangler? Supposedly they got him, right? But
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that said, the real Boston Strangler walked away.
So say you can do it with any mass killing. Look at the Boston bombers. They would never probably got caught. I know the whole backstory because I was kind of involved in it. But if they didn't hijack the guy's car and then kick him out of the car, if he didn't break away from his own car, if they just took his car and just went on their way, they would have got to New York because that's where they're going next. But the killers always slip up. But then the ones that don't, yeah, those are the ones that get really
Did they
publicized.
just get lucky, you think, or were they just really smart and learned from some of their mistakes?
I think in the beginning, some of the serial killers, we talked about, I think they get lucky if they slip up, and then they get really smart.
Yeah, because I'm sure they start reading the papers, watching the news.
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
All right, I know what they're doing, and a lot of that information's out there.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're really close to the connections? What if you are a police officer and you're in and you know where they're looking, who they're looking for, and they're not looking for you, and you could be one of those guys. That's crazy to me.
If you're the homicide detective,
Well, do you like these stories more than the paranormal mysteries and stuff like that?
yes and no.
Do you get excited for some of these?
Yes and no, because it kind of sucks. You don't have a lot to go on just because they never caught the people. We could do the cases that they've caught the people. Those are crazy to me.
Where they actually what?
Yeah,
John Wayne Gacy? Or
Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy,
the Manson family.
even the Unabomber.
Yeah, when you start really getting into the mindset of some of these killers.
Those are sick people. Like the one guy had a family.
Well, here in this case, like the one guy that, you know, supposedly is a big, you know, I guess
The prime suspect.
prime suspect in this case, you know, his wife said stuff. She recanted her statement later on after she said all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a family, right? I mean,
Some people just go nuts, or
like
some
you
people
said,
are
Mr. Brooks, he had a family.
some people are just into weird shit.
Do you think you're like born, you know, with that, like almost it's like a deformity and you enjoy this?
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Like it's the ultimate hunt, right? Like you like hunting, and then this is like the ultimate hunt.
Like Wedding Crashers. Like I want to hunt like a worthy adversary, not a worthy adversary that's armed, but like, you know, just
Oh, sure, just somebody sitting in their car at Lover's Lane, just hanging out. What if you just, what if you just went around and messed with people as they were sitting around, you know, in like Lover's Lane, just knocking on the door, and just stared at him, and then they're like, "What?" And then
no.
you just
See,
walk away.
no. These days, somebody will have a gun. They'll fucking shoot you, pal.
Probably. I mean, nowadays, yes, but I don't know. This was an interesting story just because it had the movie to it.
You love this.
Dude, I love good mysteries. I love to try to.
I like next week's better probably than this one.
Really? But
Yeah.
they're the same concept.
Very same concept. Yes.
Very similar. And usually we try to steer away from that. We try to do, you know, like kind of UFOs, Bigfoot, supernatural, paranormal, real stuff, conspiracies, mix it
But
up.
just next week's has like a new movie coming out too. It looks pretty good. The first one was pretty good too.
I did enjoy the first one. I say we go see the second one before.
When's it
comes
come out? This Friday?
The 9th, yeah. When's the 9th? Yeah, Friday's the 9th.
Strangers.
The Strangers. But yeah, I don't know. I love these mysteries, man. I'm hooked on. I actually been going and watching some old Goosebumps and then Unsolved Mysteries, so I'm flipping back and forth. And I've been watching a lot of, you know, mountain biking videos lately. So those are my 3 kicks lately.
Somebody wants to kill Matt, just go in the woods. But boom.
Yeah, I mean, usually I'm by myself, so it would be pretty easy.
That sucks.
And you have to think, like, see stuff like that, right? You bury somebody back there, make a nice like berm or jump.
What are they gonna do
know.
with your car?
I don't know, drive it, burn it.
Now, see, then like you create that, you know, mountain bike jump, right, and it rains and washes away, and then boom, your
No, you
body's
bury him like, you know, I'm going like 12 feet deep.
12
Yeah.
feet.
I'm getting like a backhoe in there and say like, oh, I'm working on the trails, and
What are you doing with your bike? Putting that in there?
yeah, you bury it along with them. I don't know, man. These stories do fascinate me. Along
Tell you
with
what, you
every
fucking
stuff.
kill somebody, you chop them up, you put them in cement, and you just throw that like in the bottom of the ocean. No one's finding that shit.
Yeah, okay, what, you're just gonna hop in somebody's random boat?
You get a boat. You rent the boat.
All right, hey, I'm gonna rent a boat. Okay, I'm sure now everybody has video cameras. They're gonna be watching you. Oh, what are you bringing on board?
You get a Yeti cooler. Yeti cooler, like one of
Are
those
you
big
gonna
ones.
chop these people up
You
beforehand?
damn right. You do
Dude,
serial
you're
killing.
sick. You've been thinking about this shit too much.
If
I
you're a
think about
serial
it 'cause
killer-
I want to get into the mindset of these people and try
I
to
think how I
solve
can
it.
get away with it.
See, how come like if we enjoy these stories and these mysteries?
How come we're not into killing?
No. See, you're sick, man. I'm not sick.
I'll fucking kill you right now.
But like, why didn't we get into be like a detective or something? Like trying to figure this out. Is it just too much?
I don't know. Maybe you didn't know about you like this stuff until later on in life.
Yeah, I just look at it. I really do enjoy a good mystery. And this was a good mystery. This is the boogeyman. Do you remember what this scene was from?
He was the boogeyman, they said. Can't catch the boogeyman.
No, it's not Halloween.
Can't kill the boogeyman.
Can't kill the boogeyman. It's the Phantom
Well,
Killer.
before that summer, everybody would leave their doors unlocked. And after the
It
summer,
is interesting though
saw a
that
strange-
a lot of these stories,
Originate from the same fucking or pretty much goddamn similar.
yeah, if you look at Halloween, like Jason,
Scream.
they all take, you know,
Wasn't there a new Nightmare on Elm Street coming out?
I mean, there was one that we saw years ago that was awful.
No, I think one's coming out this year. I think.
Probably, man. I can't keep track. I don't like remakes. You know that.
Halloween H50.
I mean, I am looking forward to that, even though it is weird. Like, even the same thing. I really did enjoy, you know, the TV show Roseanne. The Halloween specials for Roseanne were awesome. But they're bringing that show back. And didn't the guy die in the last episode?
Who?
I don't know.
Dan?
I didn't watch the seasons, but
I don't
anyway.
think so.
But whatever. Yeah, it's stuff like that. Like they rehash things. It's kind of annoying because there is so many cases. And why can't, like, here's just the thing. if it's based on a true story, let the whole thing be a true story, because the true story is crazier than some of the times that when they make up the actual movie.
I know, but look
Like
look
even
at
Scream. Even Scream is loosely based off a
Yes.
true story. Maybe we can do that one eventually.
I know, but like you look at like any of these, like look at Lone Survivor, American Sniper, or like any of these war movies that came out, or like Only the Brave that just came out too, the firefighter movie. That was based on a true story, but like they all have to make it more dramatic.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It is
but
stupid.
I don't know, whatever. So we have no theories, I guess, on this one, right?
No,
I mean, it's just the main thing.
Who the hell knows?
It's gonna keep going unsolved. You think it'll get to 100 years?
Oh yeah.
Maybe 200?
Main lesson here is don't go make out in your car somewhere. Don't do it. Do it in your house.
Yeah, but this was in 1946.
Hey,
I
man.
don't think people are doing that now.
Damn right they're doing it now.
Maybe.
Where else would high school kids go now?
I don't know. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in to today's episode. Help spread the word about our podcast and leave a review on iTunes or anywhere else that you are. Yeah, Greg's showing off the shirts if you're watching on YouTube. Help spread that, because we have one more week and then we're doing a giveaway challenge for the t-shirts. If you want a t-shirt, just leave us a review.
Very comfortable.
Very comfortable, very soft. They're the tri-blend.
What do you got there? Turn around.
The shirt?
Yeah, turn around.
This one was just made up for us. So it was a nice shirt. It's a little different, but we're giving away the ones that G's wearing. So if you want to check that out, look on our YouTube page and leave us a review anywhere that you listen to podcasts, and send us an email at matt@nightmare365.com if you want a t-shirt. Next week, we're going to be announcing it on our podcast, the winner. We actually had a couple of reviews, so it's good. So if you want, still have some time. Your name will be entered when you email us. We'll put your name in the hat, and we'll pick it out next week. And it'll be just random drawings. All right, so check that out. Also, subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on Patreon. I started a Patreon page. If you want to help us out and support the show, we appreciate that, right?
The show is brought to you by you.
Yeah, it's all about you. It's all about the listeners. It is what makes this show keep going. And I enjoy that we've been getting better numbers. So help spread the word. We appreciate it. And next week's episode, G,
Strangers.
we're discussing the true story behind The Strangers. Obviously, that we mentioned the new movie comes out Friday, right? So the new movie comes out Friday, so check that out. The Strangers, The Prey? What was it called?
Night of the Prey.
The Night of the Prey. So we're going to be talking about the inspiration behind that movie, right? We talked about how The Night That Dreaded Sundown is based on a true story. This one is also loosely based on a couple different theories. So you can check out our case file that we'll be doing beforehand.
Yeah, look for the promo video.
The case file 24 beforehand. And thanks for tuning in. And until we speak next time, stay spooky, everybody.